All right, real talk. So I'm recording this draft analysis for the Spear Pillar Association, SPIDA, formerly known as Puddle, which I don't know what that stood for. I just knew Puddle. We played them with them last season in the Ultra Bowl division. We are still in the Ultra Bowl division. We are the Boston Red Sky, coached by yours truly, Brother Yubby. You can call me Yubby. And we're just gonna go into this. I'm recording this after I have already played my week one match because I had this past Thursday off from work, and instead of working on this and per se like a team builder for week one, I instead decided to take a midday nap for like 4 hours. So I'm glad I was productive. Let me not take your time anymore. So we are the Boston Red Sky. We had a later round pick. I can check exactly, but I'm sure you guys don't actually give a shit. But I do. So just bear with me. We're almost there. And that's team standing schedule. I don't think draft is here anymore. Where are we on here? So there's a lot. That's 4, 8. We were 12th, I think. 12 out of 16. Yeah, that sounds about right. So we were 12th in the draft order, and I basically just didn't expect anything okay or good, like really good, to get down to me. Dio Speed almost made it to me. It went the pick right before me, so I was initially going to pick up that. I was basically like, hey, let's just pick something fun that I haven't used before, and let's try and build a hyper offense team because I'm really, really good at playing hyper offense, but I'm horrible at drafting it. So I end up drafting like balance or bulky offense teams that I can then eventually play as HO as needed. So hyper offense usually means fast. So to think about fast, I decided to go with a Raging Bolt, which is not fast, but is fun. And I decided for more fun, you'll find out in this draft, as opposed to hyper offense, because I can't draft for hyper offense for my life. I just end up drafting things that I like, and as long as they work together mostly, then I'll make them work. So, Rage and Bull, great starting point. I'll talk about Terra points. Terra for this league, I believe it's 15 points, 10 and under, some shit like that. Might be 16 points. I don't know. Up to 3 Pokemon. So remember that for later. We started with Bolt. I'm not really gonna talk about like, oh, I needed this, this, and this. I'm just gonna be like, oh, this is the shit that I picked. I spent like an hour putting these fucking slides together because I'm slow as shit, and I'm only gonna take like maybe like 15 minutes of your time talking about it. So we went Bolt, and then I was like, let's have some fun. We went with Quack. Quack is basically just the noob killer on the team. I think that I'm going to have such intricate builds as long as I, keep wanting to prep with this team. I'm going to have very intricate EV spreads and intricate builds, and Quack is just going to be the one to come and be like, yo, you spent like an hour on this team. Let me just kind of invalidate that entire hour, and I'm just going to sweep. So that's fun. And hazard removal. I kind of prioritized removal here in my draft in general, which is very unlike me. I'm usually just kind of scrounging for it, and then I just end up putting fucking boots on shit. And then we end up going with land OT, not removal. But this is rocks. The Lost God, the Fallen God, land OT, fell to the third round and probably wouldn't have been picked if I didn't pick it. Land OT this gen, I'm not gonna say it's on Fraud Watch, but because it's kind of been taking a downturn in draft for a bit now. But old gens, I mean, like if you've played older gens, like you know how good this thing is, and lost a lot of its tools. But like, let's see if we can have some fun with it. Then we go with Glim, because like Glim was still sitting there round 4, and I was like, well, this is like round 2 or round 3 pick, and it fits so well. It's hyper offense. This is actually a hyper offense pick. Holy shit, we did it. It gives me so much flexibility on this team. I don't need to run Rocks on Lando. I don't need to run Rapid Spin on Quack. I have a grounded poison now, and that's usually something I'm also like finding late rounds. So we just kind of keep going. We keep moving. We get our first Terra Pokemon. They let Terra Cyclizar. It was only like 8 points too, 9 or 8 points. It was one of the two, and it's so good. It's so fun. It's torrenty light, but like it's so good. Uh, Regen, a Shed Band, but like I was really affected. No, influenced by one of my BBR opponents when they used Cyclizar, and they used like an offensive Cyclizar with Life Orb. I was like, and if I didn't have Skelly in that on that team, like that thing was gonna run through me, and so that opened up a new avenue of thinking about how to use Cyclizar for me, and it finally gave me some fucking speed, and it's more hazard removal. So now I have like three really good like actual spinners. I don't need to rely on defog, so I can freely set up my hazards and be like, okay, let's see what you want to do with that. Like, can you handle my hazards without like losing a momentum, losing a turn? Because like if you lose one turn to a potential hyper offense build, like that could lose you a Pokemon. So do you want to lose that momentum, or do you want to live with hazards up? On top of that, if you want to defog, I got Ogerpon. Like, Ogerpon's here. Also, let me go back. Terras are normal, ghost, and steel on this mofo. So we got Ogerpon. Ogerpon has Defiant. If you want to lower my evasiveness with defog, you have to risk giving me +2 in attack. And sure, a lot of flying types are going to be using defog, and Ogerpon doesn't want to be in on those. But like, Conk can defog, so like maybe hear me out. Yeah. But even then, it's a good Pokemon. It gives me another Spiker. Take that a little bit of the pressure off of Glim. Set up spikes. It's just a solid offensive, and pure grass typing is so good. And so defensively, it can be amazing as well. And then on the other side, Empoleon, competitive. You don't want to defog on me, I promise. Gives me flip turn, gives me a good bulky water and a bulky steel type, because I was kind of lacking all that shit, and really fixed up a lot of the holes in my defensive chart. And that's the most I can. It got Roost, lost defog, but like I've already explained that I have hazard removal up the ass, so we're good. Then we is it a Brother Yubby team without Terra Volbeat, or just Volbeat in general? Look at the bug. I love this motherfucker. Terra Fairy, Terra Poison, Terra Dragon. Had this thing last season, and that was when we were forced to have a Stab Terra. This season we're not. I just decided to have normal on cycle. And the one Terra type that I wanted the most on Volbeat last season was Dragon. I wanted Dragon a lot, and I just didn't have the room for it because I was forced to have Bug. So now having Poison and Fairy, I can add on Dragon and really be like a solid mofo. Even better than it was last season. You know how good it was last season. Fear the Bug. Fear the Bug. Then we grab Spiritomb. This is, as of week 1, it is a Terra Captain. As of week 2, it is not. So this is also me announcing my transaction for week 2. It's already gone through. We're good. And so I no longer have a Terra Spiritomb. I still have Spiritomb. I wanted a Dark type. I wanted a Ghost type because Cyclizar might not always want to Terra into a Ghost. And it just gives me a spin blocker. Maybe I burn it. Maybe I don't. It doesn't really matter. It's got respectable offenses for being such a defensive Pokemon, and Pain Split on this thing is really good because it has such a low HP stat. So having a lower HP stat means we get more back from Pain Splits, or more percent back from Pain Splits. And speed it doesn't really fucking need. Then we had the points. We got Mew. I was between Mew and Necrozma, and I just decided I haven't used Mew recently. Granted, I haven't used Necrozma recently too, but I've always been kind of hating on Mew in recent gens. Actually, overall, because I used it once, thought I was really bad with it, and then moved on. So or trying it again. Super versatile, lost all recovery, but like we can work with that. And takes all of the hazard pressure off of the rest of my Pokemon, and might take some removal off of them because I think it gets defog. But it just is such a versatile mon, and this entire draft is just like, hey, we can do a lot of things. You can't like pin down exactly what I'm gonna do or what I'm gonna prep in a match. And then lastly, our new Terra Captain as of week 2, Houndoom. I love this little fucker. It's so funny. So we're. I just. I don't know. I had 3 points left, and I was like, "Fuck it, Houndoom looks cool." And like, its stats are like semi-respectable. It has better special attack than Mew. Like, it's okay. We just don't want to get hit with like a physical attack, and it's pretty weak to like. I'd say like priority, especially Mach Punch, but like we slapped Terra Ghost on it. We can avoid Terra. We can avoid Mach Punch if we want. And we're pretty okay. I don't know. I don't know how much this thing comes, but like, we'll see. So that's the team. I didn't put like a final slide together showing everyone. You're just gonna have to look on the side and be like, "Yo, that's the team." All in all, I'm really excited about this team. It's not the powerhouse team that I had last season. It arguably might be better. I'm not gonna lie. This might be a better team than last season. It's such a fun and good team. I'm really excited to use it, and I'm really excited to like actually like put some teams together and build properly with this team. But now that you've heard me ramble for a bit, I'm just gonna let you go, and we're gonna see you for week 1. Bye.